Everybody's Chris and Lumen here, and it's this be a short video. I want to kind of just talk about what's changed in the last, I don't know, 5 days or so. Not only to see what other people have noticed things, but also to like reassure those that have noticed. This kind of stuff happens every so often, and we're not entirely sure what it is that happens. Talking to my friends that are further along, more spiritually in tune, we all kind of pick up on the same thing, but we're not exactly sure what is happening because we can't see from the top down, like what the mechanisms are. Is this something happening from the lower controllers, or is this something happening from the higher controllers? We don't know, but everything is kind of like uh, I don't know how I'd put it, paused, kind of like in this limbo period right now. And I do notice it very subtly with like other YouTubers and stuff like that. Sometimes I can tell when it's hitting them as well. Maybe they can put their finger on it, maybe they can't. But it's almost like you're struggling to do content when usually like you can't keep up with it. That's how it is for me right now. So I want to trying to describe what's happening, see what other people think, and my thoughts on it. So if you want to know more, don't go away. So let's first talk about the signs and the symptoms and things like that. I can tell you exactly when it started. It started during the Trump Kamala debate, which leads to speculation, and that would only be speculation. Um, are they doing something? Are they sending out different types of frequencies, signals that kind of interrupt us? Is something messing with the matrix? Is it changing things? We don't know, but we can usually tell when it starts. Because with me, I'm pretty used to the type of flow that I have, with Sophia and Lumen. And when stuff like this happens, it drops significantly. It never drops completely, but it drops significantly. Insofar as like I can still communicate with them, but in normal times, like she's constantly feeding me stuff, so I'm constantly having to do videos. When stuff like this happens, it's pretty much like going back to the early days of the hero's journey before I knew about her, where it's like I knew there was something, but I didn't know what it was, and it wasn't like fully pervasive in my life. It's kind of like say you got a psychic radio, and you're used to the volume being up at 7, and then all of a sudden the volume's down to 3. That's one way to put it. Other things that I notice is big obvious patterns in the world story, kind of like do this thing where they look like something's happening and then it just kind of disappears, things go on pause, things shift. But I don't know, how do I put, I know what she did pop into my head was there was something in Thunder Perfect Mind from the Nag Hammadi where it says like, there will be times when you seek me and you won't be able to find me. I will hide from you. and there will be times when you try to hide from me and I will find you, something like that. This stuff happens. So, like, if you're one of those people that's just starting to get used to feeling that connection, and if it suddenly got quieter, like, don't freak out because it happens periodically. But it usually feels like there's something bigger going on in the world at the time. They're monkeying with something because we don't fully understand totally like how this place works. But people will kind of just notice differences. Like something doesn't feel normal. Something feels different. And for me, the most normal thing that I have is my connection to her. So when that gets quieter, then it's like, what's going on here? It's almost like I got to come up with my own ideas or something like that. One thing I have been doing almost like on autopilot, which was like the last instruction she gave me, is I just been busting out pendants left and right. I mean, I had a ton of them I didn't even realize I had. And I just been polishing them, refurbishing them, getting them all finished and recharged and stuff like that. Like even finding like some really, really good stuff. You can never quite see it in this lighting. And then I just got to restock the entire store. I mean, I've got freaking tons of freaking pendants sitting here. So when I'll for me, it's a little bit of a break. It gives my mind a little bit of a break. But also, you should try to do things to reestablish your connection. I've had to do that before, but don't get like all in a panic about it. We're in a weird time frame. Like expect the unexpected when it comes to right now. So like I don't feel like anything terrible happened, but something shifted. Something shifted and it's just it's almost like you know the world channel was like on channel 5 or something like that. And your antenna is all set up for how to connect to source being on channel 5. And then somebody switched it to channel 6. So then you have to like, okay, you have to recenter, reconnect, just get into some meditation or something late at night, focus, and just rebuild your connections. And it'll come back. It'll come back pretty quickly. But it's happened too many times to not be familiar with it. There's always like something, there's always something big that happened in the world or something that drew the attention of a lot of people. Like that debate. Everybody was going to watch that debate. And being that that's an electronic thing, then who knows what kind of things could have been broadcast through it. As I mentioned in a previous video, one of the things I noticed right away the next day, usually when there's some sort of weird energy shift or they did something triggers what I feel energetically in my body is like I blowed up all of a sudden. It's just like it's crazy. I just look at myself. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And it's like things aren't flowing the way they're supposed to. The water in my body or whatever it is, and that's generally energetic. That's generally energetic. Your energy body and your physical body are very closely connected. So if they do something, even if it's subtle, to throw your energy balance off, you might have symptoms like that in your body. You could blow it up. You could have headaches. You could have trouble sleeping. Um, depending on where you are in everything, you could have a lot of anxiety. You could have brain fog. But just these are the types of things that when they happen, you need to be self-aware and notice it so you can track it and recognize it other times that it happens. Now, I don't get too bent about dates, but I know Kenneth has seen a lot of stuff about tomorrow, the 17th. It is a full moon in Pisces, which that generally affects me pretty good because I'm a Pisces. I got my moon in Pisces. I got Pisces all over the friggin' place. Um, but yeah, we're still in that no man's land after the trail of breadcrumbs ran out, to which you just have to expect the unexpected. And honestly, that drives me nuts. On a personal note, it drives me nuts not being able to chart things out because we are doing a test, and you can build up that connection all you want, but there are some times in the test where part of the test is to see what you do without your training wheels, without help that's constantly there. So think about that. When there are shifts like this that happen, it's good to just fall back on the basics, fall back on what you know. Just knock out all the basic stuff, the energy clearings, the Benedict exorcism, tuning into the pendants, going into the inner room in your head, um, writing out a statement, kind of like a surrender statement, like whatever you want to talk to the Father about, or your lumen, or Sophia, or whatever. Writing it out before you sit in meditation and say it, because not only does it double the amount of time that you're focused on it, but writing things means a lot. And yeah, you just got to put more effort into it, because what can happen if you're used to having that connection there all the time really strongly, it can make it a lot easier to get pulled back into following the story of the world and getting pulled into all those rabbit holes. You don't want to do that either. So yeah, I don't know. I had three things of that psilocybin chocolate, and I only really got a response on one day of it. I didn't get anything this morning. I didn't. It was a different brand too, so it wasn't as good as the other one. But either which way, I'm like, hmm. I'm so used to stuff just coming to me all the time that when it stops, it's like, huh, what's going on, woman? Still, I can close my eyes and I can see her, but everything is kind of like muted, and it feels like maybe a calm before the storm, or a deep breath before taking the plunge. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't. I She doesn't tell me everything. I wish she did, but this is why we talk to one another. That's why we put out videos and see what people leave in the comments, because I want to see what other people are picking up, what other people are noticing. But that's it for right now. I gotta keep working on these freaking pendants. Um, and like I said, there's been no big clues or anything coming to me in the last couple days. So I don't have any kind of Sophia thing that I have to give. Sorry about that slight interruption. The other thing I would say is, if things die down in the psychic realm, then try to just focus on light stuff, music. Um, don't get bored and dive back into the news feeds and stuff like that. Sometimes it's actually nice. I mean, if I actually stop and think about it, I always feel like I have to do things 24/7. Like, there's always something else to do. There's always something else to do. There's always something else to do. So when things kind of like die down for a few days, I guess it is a little bit more peaceful, because it's like I don't have to constantly pump out, hour and a half long videos. So there's that. But yeah, I am going to keep working on the pendants so I can get more of them up. Found a whole bunch of really good ones. So those are the ones that I'm cleaning up. But other than that, the programs, the new program that we've been doing seems to be like the best program, which is just combining whatever the light stuff that the pendant does with like a Benedict metal. And I'm not putting Benedict metals on every single one of them, but even the ones that do not have the Benedict metals on them, I'm starting to include them in the package. I put a better split ring on it so that people can add one to their keychain or something like that. And of course, they'll be fully charged with the Benedict exorcism and all that stuff, because it's hitting both sides of it. It's suppressing the adversary negative mind, and got the energy tool connected to the light. And then when we program it, I don't overthink like this is what you got to do. No, I just have her program it for whoever's going to get it. And I don't know how she's doing that, but she knows how to do that. And that seems to be giving me the best results. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so that's all we got for right now. If you want to support the channel, click on Buy Lumina Coffee in the description box below. You can reach us through our Etsy store, clumencreations.etsy.com. Chris and Lumen. See you next time.